The best stats in all of Apex Legends. He has a 25 KD with 150,000 plus kills, a 60% win rate with 10,000 wins, averages over 2,000 damage a game, and is a multi-time Apex Predator. He even had one season where he had a 35 KD. So we're gonna go over his account, gameplay, stats, settings, everything, and get his tips on how to have insane stats in Apex.
Y'all, I so red I can't see what's real. Roll me up a blunder.
This cracked gamer is ForeverShreded, and here are his stats. As you can see, he currently has 9,995 wins. So in the background, while we go over his best tips and tricks, how he keeps his insanely high KDs, high win percentage, his controller settings, and everything else, we're going to show his final few wins to get the big 10,000. But first, let's check out the rest of his stats, the highest stats in all of Apex. As you can see, he has a almost 60% win percentage. That's actually absurd. Means he wins 6 out of 10 games that he plays. Absolutely mental. Overall, he has 150,000 plus kills at a 25 KD. That is actually crazy absurd. And we're going to go over how he keeps that 25 KD very soon. But he also has 35 million career damage with an average damage per game of 2,100. Ridiculous. His highest ever damage is 7.7k, highest ever kills is 30, his longest win streak is 23. That is mental. But then if we look at this season's stats, they're a little bit lower, so he must be finding this season a little bit tricky, or maybe he's solo queuing it a lot. But he isn't just a pub player, he's also a big ranked grinder as well. So let's check out all his stats from season to season. So all the way back in season 2, one of the original days, you can see he had a 23 KD. He even grinded Pred as well, and when doing that, had an 18, almost 19 KD, with basically a 67% win rate as well. These rank stats, when you think about it, were also back when a lot of the big Apex GOATs used to play on PlayStation, like, Kobe and Daltouche and whatnot. So he was versing good players back then. So it's definitely pretty impressive stats for being Pred. Season 3 was one of his highest ever seasons KD-wise. He had 33 KD. Season 4, almost 30 again. Season 5 down to 22. Ooh, SBM kicking in a little bit there. Jumping to Season 7, this is where he had his highest ever stats. A 35 plus KD, almost 2,500 average ADR. Highest ever kill game of 30. Almost a 75% win rate, and it does, funnily enough, coincide of when Horizon came out, Season 7, one of the most OP legends to ever come out in the game at the time. Now, his tips on how to have ridiculously high stats. You guys can increase yours and work towards his maybe. First up, where and how to play, especially the game modes that you play. Trios versus duos, ranked versus pubs. Obviously, you're going to choose pubs over ranked, unless you're at a low rank and you're a very good player, so you can farm those lobbies till you get a bit higher, but ultimately, you're going to want to be playing pubs. Now, trios or duos. Apart from in special situations, you're always going to be playing duos over trios. This is because there's only 2 enemies for you to fight most of the time unless you're fighting multiple squads. So if your teammate dies, it's only ever going to be a 1v2. Or if you guys get third party while you're in a fight or when you just finished a fight, it's only going to be 2 people third partying you and not 3. So it's much easier to clutch up and win and keep that win streak / KD alive. But if you wanted to hard kill grind and get those big kill games or get those 20 bombs or those high damage games, you're going to want to be playing trios over duos. Because in duos, there's more teams, so more of them will drop on top of each other at the start of the game and murder each other, meaning less people alive late game. And if people are to get respawned, they're only ever going to respawn one of their teammates, whereas compared to trios, 2 people can get respawned, so there can be more people alive late game. Although you do have to be careful, because it does mean it can be harder than, 1v3 at third party is going to be much more dangerous. While all these tips have been gathered from Shredder and what he has said in his YouTube videos, his YouTube link and all his social on screen right now, go follow him. I want to add in a big tip of my own. While your performance in recent matches is the main factor that decides the quality of the next lobby you load into, the time of day you play at has a huge impact on this as well. If you play during peak time on a server, you're more likely to get people around your skill level as it's trying to give everyone fair matches. But if you play at off-peak time, there's a big chance you won't be able to find enough people your skill level, so it'll increase the range it gathers players from, and you'll get possibly more sweaty, but also possibly less sweaty people in your lobbies. Tip number 2, what legends should you play and what legends are the best to, win games, get that high KD, get that high ADR? Well, first off, it's very simple. Whatever legend you're the best on and you're most comfortable playing and you enjoy the most is the legend you should play, as games are about having fun in the end. But if you do want to play the extremely strong, impactful legends, his main Horizon is almost the perfect legend for that. No other legend in the game offers as much as she does in so many different areas, from the solo ability with her 2 passives being absolutely insane with no full stun and extra strafe speed in the air, to her ability to reset a fight with her tactical popping a shield bat on it, or for her ability for her and a team to both take height during a fight, her massive AoE impact she can have with her ult and nade spam. She is actually crazy strong. As for other legends, it's largely the meta legends for this season. So legends that give you a big impact in fight and give you an advantage in those. So for example, it's going to be the likes of Revenant, as because when you knock someone, you get 75 HP back, making it very, very easy to 1v2 and 1v3. Great for third parties as well, especially with his new tactical perk, which allows you to get tactical back on knock. Super, super strong. Then of course, there's the crazy strong legends like Bang, who has taken over Apex over the past few seasons. She's super strong, but due to her ability to block line of sight anywhere around her at any point in time, disengagement with her ult, push fights with her ult, the double time speed, it's absolutely nuts, and of course, smoke disables aim assist. Then Bloodhound, who works perfectly with Bang, gives you vision, which is always super, super important in a fight, tells you where the enemies are, what ways they're moving, gives you all the knowledge possible to win fights. Conduit is ridiculously strong this season as well, especially when paired with the likes of Revenant, and I'll go into depth and explain that in a minute. Then, if you are more of a defensive player, the likes of Caustic and Catalyst are absolutely amazing. The 1v2 and 1v3 potential those legends offer is absolutely insane. Now, for the most obvious and I guess important tip of all, if you guys want to win every single game and have a crazy high KD because you never die, don't play solo. Obviously, it's going to be much easier if you're playing with another good player or with a friend and you communicate with them and fight the sweaty stacks together. But it is also important of what legend they play. There are some legends that are super good and super amazing to have on your team. He recommends largely all the support legends. First off, because they can craft your banner if you die, which is super amazing, but also the likes of like Newcastle and Lifeline, because they have insane potential to reset a fight. So if you go down, they have a great potential to reset you with their wall, with their tap res. He also loves to have Loba, because first off, she can tactical out and, respawn you if you die, but also just because you can get all the loot that you could ever need. And this season especially, as you'll see in this video below that he's playing and in his games, Conduit is the ultimate teammate. The ability for her just to give you shields and allow you to re-peek or allow you to turn a fight from a terrible situation to extremely winnable is amazing. She is not a high skill level legend to play either, so anyone can play her on your team and you can get value out of it. A little fact that a lot of people don't know as well is there is no bleed through on her tactical. So if you have one shield heal from her tactical and you get shotgunned in the face for 110, you're only going to take 1 damage. So his tips overall and summarized are: play a legend you're extremely comfortable on, helps if they're an insane legend like Horizon. If you want to have a ridiculously high KD, prioritize winning over everything, as not dying is the most important factor there. Make sure you play duos, not trios, as it's much easier to 1v2 than it is 1v3 and makes third parties a lot less scary. Don't play solo, as obviously playing with someone else and being able to communicate with them increases the chance of you winning games, thus keeping that really high win percentage and not dying so the KD stays high. As always, have a support legend on your team so it's much easier to reset, whether in the fight or outside the fight with a respawn. Now, let's quickly watch the rest of this final game of his where he's about to hit 10,000 wins in Apex, and then after that, I'll show you his controller settings.
He's right here. Come back to me, just come back to me, come back to me after you fucking slam that good. Getting grief by a whole new team.
This clip right here is actually a perfect example of a couple of his tips and the main reason why he has such a crazy high KD. Because to keep that high KD, you mustn't die and you must win every game. So his team has a 1v1 that he would have won 99 out of 100 times, but he still backs off and resets in case, a third party came along or in case he got a crazy one clip. It's much better and safer to have both your teammates alive. Always play safe, always play for that win.
Psycho. That's 2 team. Right here.
Spotted a wee hooligan. Thanks, jump jet. Broke enemy shield. Reload.
Oh, right on my head. Yeah, one's running. One's careful. One's sitting on the fucking head. Those are the triple take. Ulting him.
Wanna see my singularity?
Batting. Nice. And just like that, we got 10,000 double skis.
little screenshot here.
And now here is him going over his settings. The settings of the player with the best stats in all of Apex.
Gameplay does not really matter too much. I'm just going to go over this briefly, just so you guys can get some nice little settings for ALCs, and then hopefully be frying for, you know, mostly what seems to be a ranked season. So controller, everything is just default. I'm going to go over Classic really quick. I prefer 6.4 if I play on Classic, or other ones I do recommend if you guys are not interested in ALCs is 4.3 is huge, 4.4, and then also 4.3 linear are all really good options if you guys are not interested in ALCs. ALCs themselves, 0 dead zone, response curve 10, so pretty much Classic. No per optics, I get a lot of questions on that. I do not run any per optics. 300 over 280, 220 for extra turning speed. And then 35 over 95 is what we're running right now. I recommend anywhere from 165 for this is their highest, 115 for the lowest, and then 95 or 115 I would go for the highest. And then anywhere around there is pretty much good. Just depends on your playstyle, if you like to have a little bit faster sense or a little bit slower sense. Keep these up, keep this one down, and then default, obviously, because we're not on PC. And then we're going to go to video, and I drop down from 104 to 100, and I go from anywhere from 100 to 104. It just depends on how I'm feeling, if I can see straight or not. You know, eyes are just going nowadays, so anywhere from 100 to 104. And audio is all preference, but those are going to be my ALC settings.
Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to go drop Shredder the follow. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, drop a sub, and keep being amazing. Appreciate you guys.